Hello, my name's David Seaman, and this is the Three Lions Podcast.
Welcome to the Three Lions Podcast. My name is Russell Osborne and this is an independent England football supporters podcast. I hope I find you well. Thanks as always for tuning in. It is always appreciated. It's never taken for granted. I hope you enjoyed the last episode that came your way. That was the one chatting with Stuart Langworthy. We spoke about walking football. Went down really well. So much more to walking football than what we just assume to be football. And it can involve so many people. It is still available at your provider of choice, so go check it out. Now, on to this episode. You're probably not going to like it, but you're here now, and you're intrigued, aren't you? Plus, at the end, I want to run an idea by you, so stick with me. Now, this episode idea, well, it initially came about after the Bournemouth versus Wolves FA Cup match a while back, where it took VAR 8 minutes to look at a goal decision. The previous record had been between West Ham and Aston Villa in 2024. That took 5 minutes 47. Now, I'd already done a little bit of research into it, but then I tuned into a recent episode of the excellent Gate 102 podcast with Charlie Tidswell. He mentioned an incident with Danny Welbeck in 2018. Now I'm going to come to that in a bit, but I thought I need to go back and revisit this one, so I dug all my notes out. Basically, I began to wonder about England and VAR and some of the moments that have gone before its time to where we are now. And I'm going to say, I apologise in advance, I'm going to call this either VAR or VAR or Video Assistant Referee. You know what I mean. I apologise if it gets on your nerves. But in the past, many seem to have gone against us. But of course, one in particular did go our way.
Yes, no, linesman says no. The linesman says no. It's a goal. It's a goal. Oh, and the Germans go mad at the referee.
And then there were a few that didn't.
Can Black get there first? Black can get there first for England. That's got to be a penalty. Penalty given for England. The Dutch are claiming outside. The referee looked hard at the linesman. The linesman said inside. No. Has he given a penalty? A yellow card has gone to Donald Koeman. I think he's changed his mind. He's changed his mind and given a free kick outside.
Brian, is that not a sending off offence under the rules of the game?
Absolutely. Let's just determine first, though. That's got to be, hasn't it? I mean,
that's a
he's
penalty.
through with a clear goal-scoring opportunity. Red card. He's given a yellow. Floated in a long way towards Tony Adams. Oh, Campbell. It's Campbell who's finally got the touch.
He's disallowed it,
He's disallowed it. Campbell came away as though he'd scored it. Adams came away as though he'd got a touch. And Adams now inquiring of the Danish referee why it was disallowed.
Well, Shearer jumped up with the keeper. I think it hit Campbell in the end, on the face, not on the hand. And it went in the net. I couldn't see anything wrong with it.
Loading players in. Oh, against the bar. Campbell! No. He's disallowed it. Ersmeyer has disallowed it.
Oh, that's a lovely touch. Lampard! Brilliant! It was it, no! That surely crossed the line. It's not been given. Surely that was in. Here we go. Oh, it's in. It's so far in.
Now, I've said it before. I despise VAR. I think it's ruined the game as what I grew up knowing it as. For all the reasons that you've probably heard before, it takes too long. It disrupts the flow of the game. The referees or the VAR panel become the talking point. How many times in the past did we used to hear that if a game has gone by and we've not really acknowledged the referee, generally that meant the game was a good one? And of course, there's the spontaneity of celebrating a goal. It's just gone now, hasn't it? The length of time to check a goal or an incident, it just takes far too long. Although admittedly they don't all take as long as that Bournemouth Wolves game that I did mention. But I've been to many games that have featured VAR, and it's the same every time. There's almost a unanimous sigh that goes around the ground when it comes up on the screen. But sadly, I think we've come just a bit too far now for it to disappear. I think it's with us to stay. Maybe with semi-automated, we'll get back to maybe clear and obvious. I don't know, but it's not the game I grew up with. That said, I don't disagree with all the advancements of the game. I'm more than happy with the goal line Hawkeye technology. That's the one where the referee's watch will buzz when the ball fully crosses the line. That is provided there aren't people in the way of the cameras. You remember that time, Sheffield United and Aston Villa, I think it was, when it was either the referee's watch didn't work or there were players in front of the camera. The ball clearly crossed the line. Technology, isn't it? It's supposed to make our lives easier, but on the whole, goal line technology appears to work, and I'm happy with that. So time for a quick history lesson. Tennis and cricket, well, they've been using Hawkeye since the early 2000s, and there'd been calls for it to be utilised in football. But the then FIFA president, Sepp Blatter, was always against it.
Aspect of football should be maintained, and football lives up with errors of the players, error of the coach, and errors of referees. The only one they have never mistake are the fans and the spectators, and that's good so. But if they don't make any mistake, it's no more mistake on the field of play.
But incidents such as Thierry Henry's handball against the Irish, that was for qualification for the 2010 World Cup. Then there was Frank Lampard's ball over the line against Germany in that World Cup. The noise for VAR, video technology, a Hawkeye, the noise for it got louder. And Blatter, as we know, was later removed from his presidency post within FIFA. And in came Gianni Infantino, whose outlook on it was more positive.
Football is ready for the introduction of VAR. We have been testing it for the last 2 years. We have been studying it. We have been convinced about the benefits of VAR. It will not solve 100% of the issues, but it will be a great help to the referee. And we have to help the referee if we can. In 2018, it's not anymore conceivable that everyone, be it at home or in the stadium, knows within seconds whether the referee has committed a mistake, a big mistake. And this can happen because they are human beings. And the only one who doesn't know is the referee. And not because he doesn't want to know, but because we prohibit him or prohibited him to know. Now we allow him to know. And this will bring, I think, more justice in the game, will help the referee, and the referee will, in any case, take always the final decision.
So it seemed around the 2010s, the Dutch Football Association, they came up with a prototype which they mock trialled in the 2012-13 season. That seemed to go okay. Then in 2016, in a friendly between PSV and FC Eindhoven, it had its first live trial. And then later in that year, 2016, the September, it had its very first outing when it was used in a friendly between Italy and France in Bari. Now, France won the game 3-1, and the technology was used during the game. In fact, it only took 3 minutes for it to come into use. Gibril Sidibe went in on the Italian Daniele De Rossi. VAR, who were sitting outside the stadium in a truck, they advised a yellow card, and this took less than 10 seconds. And then the 33rd minute, De Rossi was involved again. He had a goal-bound header stopped by what looked like the hand of Kurzawa. VAR reviewed it, and there was no penalty given. As it was still in its infancy in that game, the Dutch referee Bjorn Kuipers didn't have a screen to review it himself. It was all done by earpiece from that truck outside the ground. Imagine that now, if there was a truck outside every stadium. That truck would be rocked to pieces come full time as people exited the ground. But from there on, it seemed to integrate itself into the game at various levels. The 2016 Club World Cup saw the first ever penalty awarded through VAR between Japanese side Kashimi Antlers and Colombian side Atletico Nacional. The 2017 Confederations Cup, it was used there. Then the big one, the 2018 Russian World Cup, where it took 2 days for the first VAR moment to be called. France against Australia, where it intervened on a French penalty incident. France and Antoine Griezmann took the lead and ultimately won the game.
Pogba plays it through. Big chance for France here this time. Oh, the referee will look at this and will shake his head. But the referee might have something to think about there, because the challenge from Risden and the official from Uruguay, Senor Andres Cunha, has gone to look at the screen, and the referee could return to the field of play and could point to the penalty spot. The decision is a penalty for France. We have a moment of history in Kazan. Griezmann's never scored in a World Cup finals. He has now. It's France 1, Australia 0. And the VAR played its role.
France and Griezmann would once again benefit in the final from VAR against Croatia. Now, during that World Cup 2018, VAR came into use 21 times in 64 matches. And this increased to 27 in Qatar 4 years later. England weren't involved in VAR during 2018, but they were in Qatar. And once again, I'll come to that shortly. But back to France, and this time England. It's June 2017, and England travelled to Paris to play the French in Paris at the Stade de France. It's a game I remember going to, but I have to be honest, I don't remember any talk of VAR in the preceding days before the match. 9 minutes in and Harry Kane puts us ahead, but by half-time we're 2-1 down after goals from Samuel Umtiti and Gibril Sidibe. Remember him from that France game against Italy that I mentioned? Anyway, the second half is only a couple of minutes old when Dele Alli was brought down in the box by Raphael Varane. His heels were clipped. Penalty awarded. Not just that, though. The referee was consulted by VAR through his headpiece, and Varane was dismissed. So there it was. In that moment, the first time VAR had been utilised during a match that England were involved in.
Ali has chased his own pass here and he's onside, and still goes on now as he unbalanced there by Varane. Yes, he was. Penalty has been given.
Just there's contact. It's a definite penalty. It's strange how Dele Alli got in behind the back four.
And the referee has gone to the video review here, and he's going to show a red card here to Varane. So he's going to get the penalty, that's for sure. Harry Kane, Tottenham vice-captain, against Tottenham captain Hugo Lloris. terms. England on terms. His second goal of the evening against his clubmate.
Harry Kane once again scored from the spot to level things, but despite being down to 10 men, France rallied and Dembele would score the winner later in the game. Let's move towards that moment I mentioned at the beginning with Danny Welbeck. It occurred against Spain at Wembley in a Nations League game in 2018. We went 1-0 up through a Marcus Rashford goal, although two from Saul and Rodrigo put Spain in front. 90 minutes were up and England had the ball in the net and we all thought that we'd salvaged a point. It wasn't to be though.
Time beginning to run out. Gomez. Trippier. And the Liverpool youngster once again, it's deflected. Ramos up rather than away. And a chance for Welbeck! But it won't count. Disallowed by the referee. Danny Macaulay, the man at the centre of controversy once again. Ramos with the initial clearance. And what did Danny Welbeck do wrong there? Difficult to see, but Spain survived. And England may believe, they should be leaving Wembley with at least a draw this evening.
Now, despite losing that game, we did make it to the first Nations League finals. We were there, along with hosts Portugal, there was Switzerland and also the Dutch. Our first game, the semi-final, was against the Netherlands in Guimarães. A Marcus Rashford penalty put us ahead. Matthijs de Ligt equalised in the second half. Then with less than 10 minutes remaining, Jesse Lingard scores. Cue scenes of pandemonium in the England end. I remember it vividly. But no, word soon got around. It had gone to VAR. It had come up on the screen. And in the stands, though, we didn't know what for. On the telly, it would seem that they were being shown replays of Lingard's toenail being offside. Frustrating. Doesn't even come close.
Little flick from Sterling. Barkley. For Jesse Lingard! England have the lead back. And there are only 8 minutes to go. Their best passage of play the whole evening. And it tripped through Ronald Koeman's team. Goal check.
Yeah, he could be offside.
Oh, is it going to be a Raheem Sterling moment in the Champions League? Memphis Depay's waiting there to get. It's going to be a very, very tight call. It's no goal.
There have been other moments that have gone for and against England. Against Andorra and San Marino, both in 2021, we were the beneficiaries with penalties being awarded. Against Hungary in the same year, they were awarded a penalty against us. Germany in Munich in the Nations League, Harry Kane scored a penalty thanks to a review. And later, in the return match, both sides were awarded penalties through the system. But we then find ourselves in Qatar in 2022. Our opening game, John Stones pulled down an Iranian player for a penalty. VAR made that call, but the big moment in the tournament came for us a couple of weeks later. Once again, France were the opposition.
Yes, well, England are going to ask the question of the referee here, and you can see why. Hernandez on Mount.
Yeah,
he's going to go and have a look. This could be a second England penalty.
Horrendous decision from Hernandez. It's a penalty.
The referee has awarded the penalty kick to England. Harry Kane faces Hugo Lloris from the penalty spot. He's missed it.
Oh my.
Harry Kane has missed from the penalty spot.
Every game now where VAR is in use, every goal is checked. And that was the case with Greece at home in the Nations League. They won 2-1, but you may remember they also had the ball in the net 3 additional times, but all were disallowed for offside. VAR getting involved there. On the whole, when you look back at the VAR decisions, as frustrating as they are, and as time-consuming as they are, generally, I would say the result of them has been fair. Of course, there are some that still make your mind boggle. But generally, I think they are fair. Some have gone against us, and we've taken some. But more recently, during the Euros, the semi-finals against the Dutch, you could say we gained some revenge against them. We were 1 down in Dortmund when Harry Kane had a shot. His foot collided with Denzel Dumfries. Kane went down. I have to say, being there, to me, it wasn't an obvious penalty. And I think for those watching on the telly, with the additional help of the replays, you could argue either way. But referee Felix Zoya was called to the screen, who then came back with the universal sign for VAR and pointed to the spot. Harry Kane scored, and our journey to Berlin was back on.
And that's just over the top from Kane. Kane is down writhing in agony.
Well, he wants a penalty.
You know what this usually means?
I think they're going to give it. I think that'd be really harsh.
Kane got there first. Here we go. Here we go. England penalty. Here comes Kane. Here come England.
But I've no doubt that VAR will make an even bigger story in the future. It could be next week, could be next year. But I think there is a massive story coming our way with technology. And I have to say, I'm not looking forward to it. Anyway, that's got that off my chest. VAR. How about you? Like it? Loathe it? Is it here to stay? Can it be removed? Would we just go back to the old days? Don't know. Let me know. Hey, another idea I have. I mentioned this at the very beginning of the show. I had an idea. Looking towards the Senegal game to be played at Nottingham Forest City Ground. It takes place on the 10th of June. It's a Tuesday. I had this idea that it could be a match where all England supporters wear their England shirt. Football shirt culture is a real big thing now. And yes, there are occasions where teams wear special one-off shirts, but I'm not sure there has been an occasion where the fans in the stands all universally wear a shirt. The vast majority of us have got an England shirt tucked somewhere in the wardrobe. And over the years, England have had loads of different types of shirts, some that you've probably forgotten about. There's the Admiral shirts that, they're quite old now, aren't they? There's the Umbro ones, and now we've got the Nike ones. There's the retro ones, the ones that go back to 1966. There's goalkeeper shirts, there's training shirts. But how good would it be if everyone at the City Ground wore a shirt with 3 lions on it? A lot of people go to England games when they're on the road, and you end up at a stadium of a club side, and there's fans who wear their club side shirt. Whilst generally I have no problems with that, it does rile some fans, because I think as soon as a club shirt is seen, there becomes a bit of a divide. So if everyone's wearing their own England shirt, there's no division then, is there? As I say, lots of different colours. There's the traditional white home shirt. There's the red away shirt. We've had blue away shirts. I'm sure some of you know a grey away shirt. We have, even in the past, had a yellow away shirt. Yes. Goalkeeper shirts as well. If you can turn up wearing David Seaman's, Refreshers goalkeeping shirt, that'd be a good one. But it's just a bit of fun. So how about that? dig out your England shirt to wear it, even if you're not going to the game. But if you are going to the game, dig out your England shirt and wear it to the Senegal game at the City Ground. Right, that's about it from me. Thank you very much, as always, for listening. Always appreciated. Don't forget you can follow the show on social media, wherever you do that. Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Just search 3 Lions Podcast. Let me know what you think. Send me a message. You can send me an email too. 3lionspodcast@gmail.com. If you've got an idea for the show, if you like the idea of the shirts at the City Ground, let me know. I'll be back with you very soon with some more England content. So until then, take care of yourselves.